Guys, so we are here in Burlingame and you are witnessing the new Aman without a beard because I shaved, but that's for a different story. And so we're here in Burlingame. We're gonna try out this brunch place called Honey and Mints. Actually, it's called Mints and Honey. So let's see how it is. I've seen their reviews. It's pretty good. They have a lot of stuff like waffles, sandwiches. Not a lot of sandwiches actually, but they got some interesting coffee stuff. So we're gonna check it out. I'll show you guys how it is. Maybe it's something that you guys can try out when you're in the area of Burlingame, which is close to the airport, as I've mentioned in the past, the SF airport. So let's see how it is, guys. All right, so once we were inside, we had to actually wait in line because there was a huge line, which, at this place, I always see a line because I drive by that place like a lot of times. It's in downtown Burlingame, and on the weekends, especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's always a line outside. It actually extends to the outside, right, the exterior. So we had to wait, right, and then you go to the register area right there, and you place your order. And after that, you go to take a seat. So once we were seated, right, we actually had this plate of food come to us, and there was like a bunch of things that we actually ordered. But primarily we had toasts because they're known for these avocado toast, or the peanut butter and peanut butter banana toast. And my friend had this salmon cream cheese toast. And so I got this sampler platter because you could try like 3 different flavors. And you could see here in this video that, I got the small little plate. They were decent sized, toast. Good for one person, I would say. One toast, good for one person, but I got 2. I shared a little bit, of course. And they also actually have great quality coffee in here, right? So I was surprised by trying their coffee. I got this hazelnut flavored, light on the sweetness, right? And it was great. I mean, the effect was great. It was like smooth, and so I was quite surprised by the quality of the coffee. And now for the food, again, like I said, it's pretty good. Is it all that hyped, right? Is it worth standing in line for 10, 15, 20 minutes plus? Kind of depends, right? If you have some time to kill, and I would say like maybe on a Sunday, it's kind of like a Sunday type of spot anyways, right? So I would say for a Sunday, it is probably worth it. But for any other day, probably not, right? For any other day, probably not. You could, but again, on any other day, there's probably not a wait there. But price-wise, I would say it's pretty decent. It's pretty fairly priced, so we're good on that. I mean, you can get a decent sized meal and a coffee for $15. You could be out of there, right? So 15, 16 bucks, that's not a big deal these days. So I would say, it's obviously a brunch place, right? So obviously you're gonna pay for the service, you're gonna pay for like the seating and the nice scenery and all that stuff. So that's kind of like you pay for the experience. But overall, I would say it's a great place. Would I recommend people to go there? I would say yes, try it out once if you're in the area. If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, try it out once, right? Would I say, is it really like living up to the hype that it's getting? I would probably say, just like with any other brunch space, it's really not something that I would say isn't worth it, right? You could go grab a coffee at any other place and it'll probably be almost just as good, I would say, right? But although I must admit they have fresh coffee beans, right? So they actually grind their own coffee in-house. That's definitely a plus right there. But yeah, overall we had a fun time. It was great. We sat down there for probably like 45 minutes. And so we had a good time, yeah. And like I said, this was definitely a good place to go to on a Sunday brunch type of, or Saturday, whatever, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? The weekend brunch type of place where you go to. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, we had fun. The food was good. The coffee was good. So after that, we just went to the Burlingame marketplace, walked around a little bit because every Sunday they have this farmer's market. So it's fun to walk there, try out some things. That kind of stuff, right? But other than that, guys, this is it for this video. I'm gonna try some more stuff Maybe the next video will be about a pizza or something, you know, or some other cool spots here in the Bay Area. But I'll see you in the next one.